This Thursday, December 19th, NBA Betting Picks edition of the NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. We're also brought to you by Rebet, a new sports book available in 45 states. Download Rebet in your app store and use promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And last but not least, we're also brought to you by the SGPN College Football Playoff Challenge. It's free to enter and a $1,000 grand prize. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB to enter today. Welcome, everyone, to the NBA Gambling Podcast, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. NBA Thursday night, 13-game schedule on the docket here. Lot to get into, but joining me, of course, here on this episode to break everything down happening in the association, I got the man himself here, the superstar of the show, the villain, Terrell Furman Jr. Terrell, what's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm great, Munaf. Having a great time at it. And over here, 12-game slate after, the Emiratis NBA Cup. We see Dame get an NBA championship. I think that's my favorite cup, and that's my favorite part about the Emiratis Cup, and I think that's the new betting angle. We just start betting guys that haven't gotten the big one yet. Those are the guys that win the NBA Cup, like those guys that struggle to get to the big one.
No, there's also a way where next Darvin Hammond's up, and we just bet on that team as well since he's
and Taurean Prince. Taurean Prince is also 100% against the NBA Cup as well. So
yeah,
Darvin Ham, Taurean Prince, those are locks for the NBA Cup.
Yeah, obviously the NBA Cup wrapped up on Tuesday. Congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks. They get the job done against the Thunder. Giannis adds to his resume MVP? As far as Cup MVP, getting the second NBA Cup championship there. So congrats to the Milwaukee Bucks. Like I mentioned, a lot of games to get into here for tonight. Let's not waste any time and let's just dive right into it. First game will be the Thunder. They are in Orlando to take on the Magic. Magic are currently catching 6.5 points in this game with a total of 211.5. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, for the Thunder, Chet Holmgren continues to be out. Jalen Williams is going to be out for this game. And
J Will, right?
Yeah, J Will, not J Dub. Yeah.
Okay.
Paulo Banchero, of course, for the Orlando Magic, and Franz Wagner, of course. Gary Harris just did pop up questionable with a left hamstring strain. Obviously, Thunder come out of Vegas, out of the Cup final there, losing. Is this a fade spot here for the Thunder, Terrell, or do we bank on the Thunder to pick it right back up?
I mean, this could kind of be like a dream crusher spot for the Thunder, but I just think they're too good for that. They just couldn't hit anything. Like, they couldn't make any type of shot against the Milwaukee Bucks. I think it was less about their defense and more about the Thunder just not showing up to play that day. And this is a nice, really good bounce back. Now, you do have an OKC team that is really good defensively, despite the injuries to Franz Wagner, Paulo Banchero. They're still pretty solid defensively, but I just don't think that they're going to have enough offensive firepower. They're one of the worst offenses in the league, going up against one of the best offenses in the league. And even against good defense, I think OKC can find ways to score the basketball. They just really, really fumbled the ball over there in Vegas. And Orlando, I don't know. I mean, they're going to play good defense regardless. I think probably the best play here is the under, in the full game under. I think that's a really good angle. But overall, I just don't see what Orlando's going to do scoring the basketball wise to kind of keep themselves in this game. They had a 9-point loss to the Knicks. It feels like this could be something similar to that, like a 9-point loss. So I'm going OKC.
Yeah, I think with the 2 days off in between, that gave them enough time to kind of, get over it, move on, travel to Orlando, and just get ready for now getting back to regular season games. And I think for this OKC Thunder team, like you mentioned, it's just a talent discrepancy right now, especially with Orlando being without their top two guys. that defensive intensity, defense travels when you have a great defense. And I think obviously with Thunder having the best defense in the entire league, that's only going to be, carrying for them into this game here. So I would still go with the Thunder here. I'll lay the points here. Magic team total under would be the look. This number has moved a little bit as far as on the total moving up, but I still like the Magic team total under here. I'm on Thunder and the Magic team total under. You have any thoughts on the total?
Yeah, I'm on the under.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Next game on the board, we've got the Utah Jazz. They are in Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Pistons are laying 4.5 points in this game with a total of 227.5. Injury report for the Jazz: Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Tyler Hendricks, and that is it. That who is out. Available is Colin Sexton. For the Detroit Pistons, Jaden Ivey is doubtful here tonight. Isaiah Stewart is also out. And Tobias Harris is probable in this game. Pistons laying 4.5 here, Terrell, total of 227.5. What are your thoughts?
Yikes. I mean, I understand you can't take this Jazz team at all whatsoever, but I mean, this Pistons team laying points isn't good either. 2-5 against the spread in terms of being a favorite. And that, I think that says a little bit more to me than Utah being horrible overall, because Utah can get up for some spots and Utah can have a game randomly here or there. And typically it's against one of those bad teams that they're randomly favored against Utah, like Portland. Portland was a 4-point home favorite and they get run out of the building 141-99. It's just because they can't play any defense and the Jazz kept continue to hit shots and they couldn't do anything. Well, I mean, here we go. Have a Detroit team over the last 5 games that's horrible defensively here. Sitting here looking at their number, and the Pistons are actually 27 in terms of opponents' points per game. Gave it up 123 points per game in the last 5 games. They fell off defensively horribly. And so with that, I think the best play for me is a play on the over, because I know I can't trust Utah defensively. They're 9-4 in terms of the over on their road games this season. And then you have a Pistons team that right now, they're on a 7-10 run to the over in their last 10 games. They've completely stopped playing defense at all whatsoever. So I like the over in this one, but if I had to pick a side, give me Utah, just because I can't lay these points with Detroit right now. Detroit has to figure out how to win games as a favorite, not how to just, cover as a dog.
Yeah, I mean, what the Clippers did to the dropping 144 on this Jazz team a couple nights ago. I mean, that's just been the theme, like you mentioned. They've given up they've scored either 140 or they've given it up in the past couple games here. So they gave up 133 to the Thunder, 141 to the Kings, 134 to the Suns, and then, like I mentioned, 144 to the Clippers. So I didn't have any interest in the side. You nailed it. I do like the over in this game. One of my favorite plays of the day. That's currently sitting at 227 now over on DraftKings for this game. So, yeah, I would get to that number as soon as you could. Anything else for Jazz Pistons?
Yeah, quick play. Probably Lauri Markkanen game for the Utah Jazz here. Had 31 against the Pistons last time out. Sitting at 19.5. I think that's a little low. So could be a nice little Lauri Markkanen game here.
All right, before we continue the conversation here, let me just remind everybody of the first annual college football playoff challenge. You pick sides and totals for every game with a chance to win $1,000 as a grand prize. It's free to enter. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/CFB to enter today. All right, next game on the board, we'll get over to the Charlotte Hornets. They are in Washington to take on the nation's capital, Washington, I should say, the Wizards. Hornets laying 4 points on the road here against the Wizards with a total of 226.5 here. Looking at the injury report, I'll start here with the road team. Charlotte will be without Trey Mann, and that is pretty much it. Brandon Miller is questionable with this game. He did leave the last game with a left ankle sprain. LaMelo Ball did make his return in the previous game for the Charlotte Hornets against the Sixers. For the Washington Wizards, the only person that is going to be out for this game will be Kyle Kuzma. for the Wizards there, Terrell. So Hornets laying 4 on the road here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, all right. I'm fine with that. I mean, it's the Wizards at this point, and we throw out everything when we look at the Wizards here. Nonetheless, the Wizards have clawed themselves to an 8-15-1 ATS record this season. And that's probably liable because they've gotten some of the largest lines that we've ever seen for a basketball team. I mean, 17, they've covered 17 and a half. They covered 16 and a half in their last 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
And they were able to cover 11 and a half and went outright against the Denver Nuggets team. That doesn't have anything to do with the conversation that we're having right now. I just wanted to mention that they were able to get a win outright in their last 5 games against the Denver Nuggets. That's still enough time for me to fade this team. This team is absolutely horrible. This is one of the worst teams of the basketball that is actually completely unserious in trying to win games, and they're probably not going to win many games. And so, yeah, LaMelo is back. That's all we need. LaMelo can go do some step back, 1-leg 3 with his eyes closed and his left arm. Some of the craziest shots that you've seen this season has come from LaMelo Ball doing some circus shots, and he's probably going to hit all of those shots today. So, yeah, I'm going to take Charlotte. This line is way too low. We have still yet this season to see the Wizards lose a game by less than 9 points. I just want to throw that out for the people. That has not happened this season yet. We have yet to see this season in all of their losses for them to lose a game by less than 9 points.
I think that is a stat of the season thus far. If you think the Wizards are going to lose the game, they're going to do it by a minimum of at least 9 points. But
I would love to stop talking about it. I would love to stop talking about it. I would love not to mention it, but they still haven't done it. It's either they get a win outright against the Hawks or the Nuggets, apparently, or they lose by 9 or more.
Yeah. I like the Hornets side, especially with LaMelo being back. I would love Brandon Miller to be in there to give him a little bit more defense. But I think this Wizards team, I mean, offensively has been a little bit, compromised, especially now without no Kyle Kuzma there. So you're relying on Jordan Poole to be your guy there. But I still think that there's enough guys that have stepped up in the absence of LaMelo Ball to know their roles now. But now with him being back, I think it's a good opportunity for this team to really continue playing it the way they have. I know offense was a problem with them, especially without LaMelo Ball, but I think this is a prime opportunity for that offense to be on full display in this game with them back. So I'll lay the 4 here with the Hornets against the Wizards. Do you have any thoughts on the total 226.5?
Yeah, I'd take the over. I think we're going to see points. We're looking at what these teams are doing last 5 games. Wizards 29th in opponents' points per game, 123.4 points per game. And you have the Hornets, who are down there at 18th. They really, really fall off. But I know this Hornets team can kind of get up defensively a little bit and get stops when they need them, especially if Brandon Miller gets back in the game. And then I'm not afraid of the pace in this game. I know the Wizards have been slower on pace, but a lot of those games were without LaMelo Ball. I think with LaMelo in the lineup, they're going to match this pace of the Wizards, who are the 4th fastest team in the league. So I think that it's going to be a whole bunch of run and gun, some missed shots, some bad offense, and then eventually a bunch of points going in, because they're going to, at some point, the ball is going in the basket, and they're going to get 1,000 attempts between these two in this game. So I like the over.
Yeah, I think this is a good spot for the Hornets offense to get back on track. So Hornets team total over. I can't argue against your full game over in this game either. I mean, the Hornets just coming off a game against the Sixers where they gave up 121. Yeah, Paul George and Tyrese Maxey did most of the work there, but yeah, I think it's a little telling.
It's either Charlotte laying 4 or just take Washington on the money line.
Yeah.
If you're crazy, just take them on the money line. There's only 2 options of how this game ends, apparently, and we're 24 games into the season. There's only 2 options how this game ends.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, let's keep it rolling here. Next game on the board, we'll get over to the Chicago Bulls. They're in Beantown to take on the Celtics. Celtics laying 2 touchdowns in this game with a total of 241. Injury report. Start here with the Chicago Bulls. They are going to be without, let's see, who are they without? Nobody really. The only guys are on two-way G League assignments. Questionable tags on Josh Giddey and Dallin Terry. So 2 questionable tags there. Alonzo Ball is playing in this game. For the Boston Celtics side, questionable tags on Sam Hauser, Kristaps Porzingis, and Xavier Tillman. Everybody else is a go. So keep your eye on the injury report if you are going to be betting this game. A couple of questionable tags for both teams. Terrell, -14 in favor of the Celtics. What are you thinking?
I mean, they covered the Bulls did cover the last game, 138, 129. Both coming off rest. I mean, this is a large number. And we've seen the Celtics get disinterested in the game at times. But we've also seen the Celtics go out there and not miss. And I think that is the issue here. Chicago's so bad defensively that if they don't have some type of better defensive effort, they're going to allow the Celtics to go in here and not miss. With that being said, I'm kind of with Joshua. The Celtics have been struggling to cover larger numbers, but then they also, it was that weird game against the Pistons. They came back and got the Pistons the second time. Yeah. That's kind of the worry here. They kind of had that weird game against the Bulls, and they come back and get them the second time. If I had to pick a side, I really don't like the Celtics. Give me the Bulls plus 14, but there's no confidence in this. I think that there might be adjustments on the second time playing this team for the Celtics, and they run this team out the building.
Yeah, I think I just like the over in this game, honestly. Like you mentioned, like they're not playing any type of defense, or the Chicago Bulls. And I think that's telling in their totals, and their over under record as well. As away dogs this season, they're 10-2 towards the over in the first half, 8-3-1 overall in their games. I think obviously even without Porzingis, that they still have, the guys that they do have with the depth there. I like the over in this game. I'm still not going to lay this many points with the Boston Celtics. I need them to show me before I can take it. The angle that has been very profitable has been Celtics first half team total over. If you want to look at that, historically,
4.5.
Yeah, but this season it hasn't. Well, let me see what their ATS record is in the first half here. Yeah, it's just 7-7, so not as profitable as it has been in the past there. So I think full game over. Celtics team total over would be the look here, and you got gun to my head on the spread. I would look at the Bulls plus the 14 here. You got anything else for this game?
No. Just keep it moving.
All right. Before we do get over to the next game on the Thursday night schedule, let me tell everyone about our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Pick'em has one of the biggest menus for all sports. You can win up to 1,000x with Underdog Streaks. Underdog is always making it easier to win with profit boosts and gimme pick'ems, NFL, college football, college basketball, MMA, NBA, NASCAR, and more. And you can now use specials and boosts on all flex entries. Stay tuned at the end of the episode. Terrell and I will put together our Underdog Fantasy entry for the Thursday schedule. So sign up with promo code NBA SGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That's underdogfantasy.com. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Roster brought to you by Rebet. Rebet is a new social sportsbook available in 45 states. There are plenty of betting opportunities that are available on Rebet. Easy to use and great for people in states where traditional sportsbooks may be restricted. Download Rebet in the App Store and use the promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $100. That's Rebet, promo code SGPN. All right, next game on the board, we'll go over to the Brooklyn Nets. They are visiting the Toronto Raptors here tonight. Raptors are currently laying 4 points in this game with a total of 219. Injury report. Start here with the Brooklyn Nets. They are going to be without Bogdanovich. Obviously, DeAnthony Milton with the trade. Cam Thomas is also out. Trendon Watford, Dark Whitehead, Zaire Williams, all out here tonight. For the Toronto Raptors, Jakob Poeltl is out. Emmanuel Quickley is out. Bruce Brown is out. Scotty Barnes has been upgraded to questionable here tonight. He was dealing with an ankle injury, so keep an eye out for Scotty Barnes here tonight. But Raptors laying 4 points against the Brooklyn Nets here, Terrell. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, if the Raptors was not such a bad team, I would say that we need to go ahead and lock up the Raptors here. I think there's still a consideration for us locking up the Raptors here. In the one game I saw without Dennis Schroeder, I can tell this team can't score. They're not going to be able to score. Like that's really what the issue is. They're not going to be able to score. And if you're telling me that, you're putting this makeshift team, no Cam Thomas out there either, and that's the guy that can really go out there, create his own shot, create for himself. Like you trade away Schroeder, and then Cam Thomas is hurt.
Right.
Those are your shot creators.
Mhm.
No. I think this is going to be horrible. Who's taking shots? Ben Simmons? Is Ben Simmons taking shots in this game? I mean, it's so clear to me that one team can actually score, especially at home, and they can actually have players that, you can have RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes, been able to shoot. Grady Dick has been fine and be able to create his own shot. And, they've given him opportunity. Like Toronto's been able to score the basketball against way better teams than Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I do not think this Brooklyn team is going to be able to score. That's actually why I don't want to take the over. And so, yeah, the card collector already catching me on it. Yeah, I guess I'm a little tilt to the under here, Munaf. And believe it or not, I don't think I can get myself to bet it. I just can't see myself actually putting money on a Toronto under. But I really, really do think the over is kind of a sneaky bad play here, because I'm afraid Brooklyn's not going to be able to score in this one. I think Toronto will be able to score all they want, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But Brooklyn, I'm nervous about. I like the Raptors side of this. I like Raptors. I like Raptors team total over. But anything Brooklyn right now without Dennis Schroeder and then without Cam Thomas as well, no, I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that number one, Cam Johnson was the leading scorer in that game, that first game without Dennis Schroeder and Cam Thomas both being out there against the Cavs. He scored 22. And then you got 15 from Daron Sharp off the bench, 13 from someone Wilson. Dorian Finney-Smith had 10. Yeah, I think that he was with Milwaukee right before, or did with them. And then Ben Simmons had 10 points and 8 assists in that game. They only scored 101 points. So I think that if Scotty does end up playing, I like the Raptors side here. I may even like it without him being out there, honestly, just because everything that you mentioned, I don't trust anybody on this Nets team to really score. So I'm going to lay the points here with the Raptors -4, and you nailed it. The Raptors team total over would be the look here for me as well. I don't think this team is going to be playing a whole heck of a lot of defense. They had their fun early in the season of the Brooklyn Nets, but now they're probably going to be going into quote unquote tank mode here. And I think it's really telling that what they win at the point they traded Dennis Schroeder and what they traded him for really tells you what the direction this team is headed in. So, yeah, Raptors -4, Raptors team total over.
Very, very tempting. Very, very tempted to lock up the Raptors. Very, very tempted.
All right, let's keep it moving here. Next game on the schedule, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans. They are in Houston to take on the Rockets. Rockets are laying 9 points in this game with a total of 217.5. Injury report, start here with the Pelicans. They are going to be without Jose Alvarado, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Daniel Tice, and Jordan Hawkins is questionable. For the Houston Rockets, questionable tags on Şengün, Tari Eason, and Steven Adams. The guys that are out are guys on two-way deal for the Houston Rockets. So Eason and Şengün, some front court depth are questionable tags here tonight for the Rockets. But Rockets laying 9 points at home against the Pelicans. Terrell, what are you thinking?
I mean, just give me an under. Yeah, just give me an under. I'm not 100% any given moment if this Pelicans team is going to be able to score the basketball really well, especially against a really good defense. That game against Indiana prior to the break is just really, 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 really vaulting in the fact that they weren't able to score on that Indiana team and get things done. Whereas this Rockets team, man, I mean, this is one of the best teams that can't score. Because they play so good on defense. Like, this is one of the best teams in the league that can't score the basketball at all. So I like an under here. I think both teams are going to struggle, whether it's good defense or just inability to be able to put the ball in the basket is going to be able to cruise us to an under here, whether it's the trashness of this Pelicans team right now or the fact of Houston just offensively is not there. And so, or it can go the way of Houston actually does score the basketball and they don't let New Orleans score anything. I think it's multiple ways that we get an under there, but my favorite play is the under 217.5 here. But low total kind of tells me to take the dog, but
Pelicans 0-11 as a road dog, Terrell.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. 0-11.
Oh, sorry, that's a straight up record. I'm sorry. The ATS is 3-8, so not much better.
Okay. All right. That's still not much better at all. All right. whatever. Yeah, I'll take Houston, but I don't feel comfortable about laying 9 points with the team that can't score.
Yeah, Rockets have been a team that you want to back really at home because going back to last season, even when Udoka took over, they were a really good team um, at home covering spreads, and I think that's carried over to this season. They're 8-3 against the spread in the first half as home favorites, and 7-4 overall for the game. But yeah, you mentioned the numbers are just glaring for the under. The Rockets, the second best defensive rated team in the association, trailing only, of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They've been playing really good defense, and you mentioned that the inconsistencies on the offensive side, and that's why we're seeing all these rumors of them wanting to get a stars player on this Rockets team to, number one, close out and give them some consistent scoring every single night, because Jalen Green has a game where he has 30 plus points in a night. In the next 3 games, he goes out there and scores a combined 30 points. And now with Şengün questionable here tonight, I think that he's the only really guy I trust on this Rockets team from an offensive standpoint. So I want to keep my eye out for if he does end up playing in this game or not. So if he does playing, it's a cop out, but he's again one of the best players, not the best player for the Rockets here. So if he's in, I'm on the Rockets, but I'd still do like the under in this game with you between the Pelicans and the Rockets. All right, next game on the board, we've got the Golden State Warriors. They're in Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. Grizzlies laying 2.5 points with a total of 236.5. Looking at the injury report for the Golden State Warriors, only Moses Moody is out for this game. For the Memphis Grizzlies, Ja Morant is questionable. Marcus Smart is doubtful. Vince Williams Jr. is out, and Gigi Jackson continues to be out as well. So we'll keep an eye out for Ja Morant and his status for this game. But the Grizzlies laying 2.5 points here, Terrell, against the Golden State Warriors. What are your thoughts on this one?
I mean, it's easy for me. If 12's in, I'm taking 12 and Memphis. But if he's not, then I guess I'll just go ahead and go with Golden State. This is a pretty tough game in terms of both of these two teams do well. Maybe a little bit more on the Memphis side than the Golden State side here, but both of the little bit of a rivalry here between these two teams. Both of these two teams not really fans of each other,
Yep.
and Memphis has now found themselves to add another team yet again to how they just kind of get up for these teams. They play the Warriors. Especially when Ja's in the lineup. They play the Warriors really, really tough when Ja's in the lineup, and they try to give them a game and very competitive. And some of that might have been the Warriors step down. I think this Warriors team is slightly a bit better. I like the defensive effort on both sides of the ball here. Memphis slacked off a little bit, but the Warriors been really, really solid and one of the top defenses for the most part of all year. And I think Memphis will be able to get up for that spot against this team. I think that this is going to be a little bit of a physical contested game, believe it or not. I see points going on the over, but I think a little bit of an under is actually kind of due for this game. I think that we could see that in the first half. The Warriors have not been good to the first half under at all this season, and they kind of pick up their scoring in the second half. And Memphis has been a great ATS first half team all season as well. So I could definitely see an angle of Memphis getting out early in this game, being able to handle the defense of the Warriors really, really early and be able to put some points on the board. And maybe the Warriors aren't able to do their part of the scoring. That kind of drags that first half total under. But I think Memphis in the first half is actually a really good play. They've been really, really good in the first half all season. And the Warriors haven't been as good, 1-4 in their last 5 games in terms of the first half. And so I like the Memphis to come out early, at least get going in the first half. And then we'll probably look into a Warriors third quarter, Warriors second half play after that. But I can see this being a really, really close one. I like Memphis in the first half. And you know what? Let's just go all in and let's just make it a play. Memphis first half, Warriors money line. That feels like a fun play and something that could really, really happen in this game.
Yeah, you would think that the Warriors come out with a defensive focus in this game after giving it up 143 to the Dallas Mavericks. I know that was a historic shooting night by both teams where they broke the NBA record for 3-pointers made. But obviously the Memphis Grizzlies don't have the caliber of shooting, 3-point shooting, like the Dallas Mavericks do, I think, in the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah, I know they have Desmond Bane, but
Desmond Bane could go 1 for 8.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah, both of these teams, as far as ATS, have been really good in the first half. Warriors 5-1 ATS as a road dog in the first half and full game. Memphis first half 9-4 ATS, full game 9-4 as well. 9-4 in the first half as a home favorite. They're 19-8 overall in those spots, and then at home, same situation for the Memphis Grizzlies. So I agree with you. I think this is going to come down to the final minute. The only part that makes me nervous right now is that I know that Kirk said he's going to come out and trim the rotations a little bit. But it's just the fact that it was the last game against Dallas where they just were not able to score much of anything down the stretch, and the Dallas Mavericks were just able to pull away and win that game by double digits. And that's the only part that still makes me nervous about this Warriors team. So,
yeah, that fourth quarter is deadly.
Yeah. So I would look at Warriors in the first half. Honestly, I would go Warriors first half. I'm gonna go opposite of you.
And Memphis really game.
Yeah, until I see them in the clutch minutes are like improving. I see like Steph Curry out there for like the final 6-7 minutes consistently, where he's not being pulled out of the game where they have all the momentum. I think at that situation where I would come back on the Warriors, but I think it's Warrior first half, and then I think Grizzlies come out in the second half, and win this game. So I'll go opposite of you on this game. Yeah, you mentioned you like the under in this game, Terrell.
Yeah, I think I'm going under. A little bit of contrarian play here, but I could see this getting to a really physical game, and the pace slowing down, and they're forcing missed shots instead of letting each other score all over.
Yeah, Warriors in the first half as an away dog in the first half, 4-2 towards the under in those spots. And also they are 6-0 to their team total of their opponents going over. So it seems like it's a Grizzlies first half spot here. All right, next game on the board. Or before I do that, let me just quickly tell everyone about our good old friends over at MyBookie.ag. If you believe it or not, MyBookie.ag has been around for SGPN for years. Check out their new and improved website, great on mobile, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. They even have early cash out options available. Head to mybookie.ag. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And we're also brought to you by Rhythm. SGPN's partner Rhythm. It's a #1 AI-powered back sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models and get predictions for betting on money line, spreads, totals, and props. Build your own model. Copy one of the top-performing models from the leaderboard. We're at Rhythm, build a model for you. Now you can track props in the Rhythm app, NFL picks, NFL props, college football, college basketball, NBA. Rhythm has it all. Claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. All right, next game on the board, we'll get over to the Atlanta Hawks. They are in San Antonio to take on the Spurs. Spurs are laying 1.5 points in this game with a total of 234. Injury report for the Atlanta Hawks. They are going to be without Onyeka Okongwu. Kobe Bufkin is done for the season. I think I saw a note that he's having season-ending surgery. And then Trae Young is probable for this game. For the Spurs side of things, Zach Collins is questionable. Keldon Johnson probable. Trey Jones probable. And Victor Wembanyama is a full go in this game. Spurs -1.5 hosting the Hawks here. Terrell, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm on the Spurs. I'm not taking the Hawks here in this spot. This is when the losses start to pile back up for the Hawks. By the way, Munaf, did you know the Hawks are 5-5 in their last 10 games? It's actually
I did not know that.
Yeah, 5-5 ATS in their last 10 games. That's actually pretty good for them. That has brought their ATS total with that 5-5 added on up to an astounding 11-16. So shout out to those 5 wins for being able to pull them out of the hole that they're in. They're still a little bit in the hole. Spurs have been horrible ATS as of late. I can't remember the last time they covered a game as well. Nonetheless, we don't have to. We're right here basically at a pick 'em here, Munaf. And if I could do anything, I'm taking the over. That's the only way I'm looking at this. If I could do anything, I'm taking the over. If I have to pick a side because we pick every side. So I'm not picking the Hawks, of course. Like, come on, this has been one of the worst ATS teams in the past 2 years. No, we're not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about how both of these two teams have been horrible defensively coming down the stretch. Last 5 games, the Spurs have turned from one of the best defenses in the league to one of the worst. And they're currently sitting here giving up 123 points per game, 117 for the Atlanta Hawks recently. I think that you're going to see a big scoring day as the Spurs start to get a little bit healthier, get some of their guys back. I know Stephon Castle's been in and out of the lineup. You had Devin Vassell that was out early part of the year. Keldon Johnson's been in and out of the lineup. Like now they're starting to get a lot of those bodies back, and a lot of those guys are going to be playing in this game today. And I think that's where the scoring starts to pick up again for the San Antonio Spurs. So I like over here. Give me over 240. What is it? 234. 234 in this one. Yeah, I think that we could definitely see it get into the 240s.
Oh, I feel so low. I thought this would be like closer to like 240 in this game, but
yeah.
Spurs first
half. I think they're thinking about what the Spurs were early part of this season, but that's not them anymore. This Spurs team is giving up 120 points like, hotcakes.
Yeah. Spurs in the first half 4-1-1 towards the over as a home favorite, 5-1 overall for the game when they're a home favorite as well. And they also go over on their team total as a home favorite as well. So I think it's just going to be a Spurs spot, just scoring points here. I'm laying it with the Spurs here with you as well. Spurs team total over would be the look here for me. Wimby rebounds, if you want to look at that, I think that's a good angle in this game as well for the San Antonio Spurs. So Spurs and Spurs team total over in this game. All right, next game on the board, we've got the LA Clippers. They are in Dallas to take on the Mavericks. Mavericks laying 4 points in this game with a total of 223 and a half. Looking at the injury report for both of these teams, we've got the LA Clippers, who are relatively healthy. Only Derrick Jones Jr. is questionable for this game. Terrence Mann continues to be out. For the Dallas Mavericks, Luka is out for this game. Dante Exum is out. Jaden Hardy is out as well. Kyrie is questionable in this game, so keep an eye out for that. But that is pretty much it. So keep in mind, Luka is out for this game against the Clippers. Clippers catching 4 points here on the road here. Terrell, what are your thoughts on this one?
All righty here. I mean, hold off. I hate when people make me Clippers apologists because I'm not. But at what point do we just stop giving the Clippers this line?
They've exceeded my expectations this far this season. I'll say that much.
I mean, it's pretty it's pretty common that they're giving the Clippers a lot more points than they probably should be. 17-10 ATS on the season, 6-4 in their last 10 games. They're 7-4 ATS on the road. Rudolph, 7-4 ATS on the road. I mean, now Dallas. Ironically, Dallas has been pretty good against spread at home for once in their lives, and so they've started to get things done. But I mean, the question here, and the only thing that scares me here is the fact that we're not getting a both Luka and Kyrie game, and that this team does play better with one of them on the bench. But I just think that this is too many points for a Clippers team that constantly finds themselves in games. I mean, yeah, they had the ugly, nasty game against Denver, but they kind of be playing a lot of other teams relatively close, and I just don't think that Dallas is one of those teams in the West that really scares me in terms of fighting over this Clippers defense and stopping this Clippers team from scoring. Like, I think that they're very a lukewarm team in the West right now that I really don't know how I feel about Dallas. Like, sometimes I think that they look like a playoff team, and other times I'm like, yeah, this team isn't that good. They're potentially a play-in team. Like, I'm going with Clippers here. Clippers have been solid. They have Norman Powell back. Norman Powell, yep. I don't think that anybody's going to be able to slow him down. And if I could, I'm probably just going to end up betting Norman Powell for this game and probably the foreseeable part of the future. Yeah, give me the Clippers to get this done. I know they're a little banged up, but they continue to find themselves in games.
Yeah, I mean, Clippers have been really good to me this season. I think I'm staying with them. I wish I would have grabbed the 8 last night, but that
this was at 6.5 last night. I saw it at 6.5 last night. And I was
this
like,
came out. The news came out really late for Luka. Yeah. I'm on the Clippers. Yeah, I would not be surprised if they win this game outright. James Harden has been playing really good. You mentioned Norman Powell being in the lineup as well for the Clippers as well. He's done a great job of scoring the basketball, and defensively, they've actually been really, really good. So Yeah, give me the Clippers here plus the 4. Give me the money line here as well. I do like the under in this game here. The Dallas Mavericks as a home favorite this season, Terrell, 7-3 towards the under, 8-2 towards the under in the first half as well. You
Mm.
mentioned the defense for the Clippers as well. All of that, I think that just goes well with the under here. I think this is going to be like a 110, 107 type of victory for the Clippers here. So I like the under.
Yeah, hopefully a slower pace too.
Yeah, I think the Mavericks tend to play at a faster pace without Luka, but I think defensively, I think the Clippers can definitely give them a run for their money in this game for sure. Are you got anything else for this game?
Somebody asked about the Clippers team total over. Not really sure. The Mavericks kind of. I mean, they're not that good of a defensive team, but yet teams are 1-4 in their last 5 to their team total.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like kind of not the spot that I think I'd feel about that one.
Yeah, so I'll say this that the excuse me, Clippers team total, they are 7-2 towards the under as an away dog, and then 6-3 for the game. 7-2 the first half to their team total under, and then 6-3 for the full game Clippers when they're a road underdog. So keep that in mind. All right, next game on the board, we'll go over to the Indiana Pacers. They are in Phoenix to take on the Suns. Suns currently laying 6 points in this game with a total of 235.5. Injury report.
Good
For
point.
the Indiana Pacers. Where are they? All right, Aaron Nesmith is out. Isaiah Jackson is out. That is only the significant injuries. And Ben Shepherd, I should mention, he's questionable for this game. For the Phoenix Suns, Bradley Beal is probable, and everybody else is a go in this game. Suns laying 6 points, total of 235.5. Terrell, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, concerned because the Suns don't cover the spread when they as favorites.
Yeah,
and we've seen that. With that, you can't bet this Indiana team. You cannot, especially coming off of back-to-back wins, back-to-back wins and rest. No way I'm betting Indiana. You cannot. 10-16-1 ATS this season. They're 3-7 ATS in their last 10 games, moving off 5-10 on the road. ATS 4-11 straight up on the road. I mean, I'm not playing any part of Indiana here. They're horrible defensively. They're inconsistent offensively. It seems like they only get up when, well, at least Tyrese Halliburton only gets up when Caitlin Clark is in the audience. So I have nothing to do with this game. Like I want no part of the Indiana Pacers. This is a Suns smash play. Like you have the big 3 potentially playing in this game. We know how much better the Suns are with just Kevin Durant in general. Like Kevin Durant in general, The Suns look like a way better team, and potentially one of those teams that I was really high on in the beginning part of the season when Kevin Durant actually plays. I think this is a smash spot for the Suns coming off of a break, coming off of rest, and being able to just really, really dominate a bad team in the Indiana Pacers. I have no idea. I think I've seen this line go down half a point. If it's a trap, I'm dead. I have no idea how you can take the Pacers. Like if anybody has any like good reasoning for taking the Pacers today, please let me know.
Is what you mentioned, right? It's that the Phoenix Suns have found ways to win games, but they just haven't been able to cover the spread this season, right? Suns 9-16 overall. You mentioned it against the spread. They're 2-6 ATS as a home favorite. I honestly, I just like points in this game as well. I think we see a lot of scoring here tonight. I think this is going to be one of those games. The Pacers as a road underdog this season, 6-1 towards the over, 17-10 overall towards the over are the Pacers this season. And we know when you have the big 3 out there that you have all this scoring potential. And I think that the Suns will be able to take advantage of that in this game. So I do like the over in this game. Gun to my head, I'd go Pacers plus the 6, but I don't love it. I think if this was a spread game I could cross off that I don't want to bet, it would probably be this Pacers and Suns game. But since we pick every game, I'll go Pacers plus the 6 and over 235.5. You have anything for the total?
Yeah, over. I mean, it's a Pacers game. It goes over.
All right, next game on the board, we have the return of Mr. Karl Anthony Towns to Minnesota. Minnesota laying 2.5 points in this game with a total of 214.5. Injury report for the New York Knicks. Pretty clean. Only Mitchell Robinson continues to be out. For the Minnesota Timberwolves, pretty clean. Only player that is out is Joe Ingles. So teams coming into this game healthy. Wolves laying 2.5, total of 214.5. Terrell, what are you thinking?
Yeah, unfortunately for the Knicks, I mean, I don't think it's going to matter if this game is in Madison Square Garden either, with how everybody just magically shows up in Madison Square Garden. But unfortunately for the New York Knicks, they're going against the best defensive team at home this season. And that's the Minnesota Timberwolves, number one in defensive rating at home in their last 5 games, number one in terms of opponents' points per game. I mean, any defensive statistical category that you could have this team, and they're near the top of it at home. They play amazing defense when they are at home. Listen to some of these totals: 92, 87. You got that 114 in there from the Golden State Warriors, but that was the second night. The first night they held them to 90 and 80 against the Clippers. Like, teams are not putting up points against this Minnesota team on the road here. And so I think this is a pretty good spot where they're getting up for this game. There's already been talks. You had the preseason hiccups and the dust up between Brunson's dad and DiVincenzo and Tibbs and all of this. And Randall feels a little bit slighted. Like, I completely get it, JT, man. I see why Minnesota is favored here. And I think you got to take Minnesota in this spot. They're getting up for this game at home. This place is going to be electric. The Knicks are coming in here, assuming, one, they're a good team. Cat's going to go off, have this big game and all that. But I feel like they're going to put together a really good game plan for Cat. And if Cat isn't having a good game, do the Knicks have the 2, 3, 4 pieces that are going to step up in his place? Like, I feel like I was very, very critical of the New York Knicks in saying that Cat has to play like a number 2. And he is. For the most part of the season, he is. But the games that he isn't playing like a number 2, those are the games that the Knicks are losing. Like, Cat has to be a number 2 all the way. So, yeah, I'm all over the Timberwolves. I'm with Kevin Nash here in the chat. Shout out to Kevin Nash, Wolfpack. I'm all over the Wolves here, laying 2.5. I think this is a classic little brother in the trade. People that think you lost the trade, get up and have a great game. DiVincenzo's probably going to have a good game. Julius Randle's probably going to have a good game. They're probably going to get the win.
I'm taking the Knicks. I'm on the Knicks here, plus 2.5. Yeah, little cross action here. I think this game does come down to the wire, but I think the difference in this game for me is, like you mentioned, who's going to be the 2, 3, 4 guy for the Knicks. You can make the same case for the Minnesota Timberwolves too, right? If they are able to, I don't want to say shut down Anthony Edwards, but at least they have guys that they can throw at him different bodies, right? The Mikal Bridges, the OG Anunobys of the world, the Josh Harts at him, and if he's not having an efficient game, or he's going to get slowed down in this game by that Knicks defense, you're relying then on Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, Jaden McDaniels, or whatever. I mean, I think Dante does have a good game coming off the bench, but I'm pretty sure he has this one circled. I think Julius Randle. I would look at their props in this game for sure. But I think this is going to be, like you mentioned it, physicality is going to be high in this game. It's going to feel like a 1990s type of basketball game. I'll take the Knicks here plus 2.5, but my more favorite play is going to be the under 214.5. It's this low for a reason. I would not be shocked if somebody won this game. Like, first to 100 wins this game, like 198 as the final score here. So, yeah, I'm on the Knicks. I like the under here. Definitely looking at some player props for those guys. I think Cat rebounds would be one for me, he's able to stay out of foul trouble, but I'm pretty sure all these guys have this game circled here in Minnesota. So, I mean, Adam mentioned it, game of the night here for sure between these two squads. You got anything else for this game?
No, let's go.
All right, 2 games left here. We got the Denver Nuggets. They are in Portland to take on the Blazers. Nuggets laying 8.5 points with a total of 235.5. Injury report for the Denver Nuggets. Where are Denver? All right, here we go. Christian Braun is the only one that is questionable for tonight. Everybody else is a go. For the Portland Trail Blazers, Ayton is questionable officially with a illness, and Banton is questionable here tonight as well for the Portland Trail Blazers. Nuggets laying 8.5 points here on the road against Portland here. Terrell, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, over. Over number 1 play here. You got the Nuggets in their last 5 road games giving up north of 122 points, 123 points actually, points per game here, 122 points at home for the Trailblazers in these last 5 games as well. It hasn't been good defensively for either one of these two teams, and I mean, I think that's the only thing that really scares me off of laying these points with Denver on the road is that I'm laying points with a team that doesn't play good defense on the road. And
Yeah.
so there always is an opportunity, even if Denver goes up for a backdoor, or there's an opportunity where Denver doesn't even find themselves in the game and Portland just comes out firing on all cylinders and hitting shots because Denver is so bad defensively over this stretch. I mean, especially at on the road. No, I can't. I can't. Give me Portland plus the points on principle right now. I understand Denver looks a lot better and has been playing better the past 3 games. They've actually gotten 3 wins in a row, which has been a little bit of a wow to see this Denver team be able to do that. But I could see that was against the Kings, the Clippers, the Hawks. Like I could really, really see this Denver team just having a letdown spot for Portland here. So give me Portland plus 8.5, but I love the over.
Denver, the first half as a road favorite this season, 1-5 ATS, full game, 1-5 ATS as well. I was actually shocked to see this number at 8.5. I think the Trailblazers can keep this game close, especially in the first half. Maybe Denver pulls away in the second half, but I like them in the first half. Do the Blazers? Won't be surprised if this is a close game in the end as well, or at least within the number, or maybe like a backdoor cover in this game. But you mentioned the over. I think that the Denver Nuggets have been able to figure it out offensively. So I do like the Denver in this full game to go over. I like the Denver team total over as well. And I think Portland can get theirs as well in this game here. So over for me as well. Anything else for this game?
No, I'm good.
Last game of the night, the Los Angeles Lakers. They are going to be in Sacramento to take on the Kings. Kings laying 4.5 points in this game with a total of 228. Injury report, start here with the Lakers. Anthony Davis is probable. Jackson Hayes, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Bronny James, Jared Vanderbilt, Christian Wood are all out. LeBron is questionable for this game, so keep your eye out for LeBron's status. Sacramento, Kevin Huerter is questionable. Keegan Murray is questionable, and Domantas Sabonis is questionable. So 3 key guys there, 2 starters are questionable here tonight. Lakers catching 4.5 here, Terrell, with a total of 228. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, both of these two teams have been struggling to stop the 3 over the last 5 games. They've been pretty bad defensively. The rebounding has been inconsistent, to say the least. I could see this being one of those Lakers and Kings game that just completely goes off the rails, and we just see scoring, made basket. I mean, this is I'm considering on how I don't lock up De'Aaron Fox in it. This is the De'Aaron Fox against the Lakers, the handicap. This is De'Aaron Fox versus the Lakers. I'm pretty sure AD has pretty good games against the Kings. I have to go back and double check that, but nonetheless, this is De'Aaron Fox versus the Lakers. It's not really too much to talk about here. Kings at home, laying 4.5. It's a number, but I don't think it's that big of a number. A couple of possessions. Slight leans to the Kings, but this is a clear. I'm taking the over in this game, and both of these two teams have been struggling defensively as of late. I don't want any parts of the Lakers' defense on the road, and this Kings team just does not show up for every team as they should. So I could see them letting the Lakers hang around here and score points.
Yeah, I like the Lakers in spot plus 4.5. I think that victory against the Memphis Grizzlies was very impressive for this team. Hopefully they can get back on the winning track here. You mentioned the De'Aaron Fox angle against the Lakers. I do love that as well. This number does feel low. Obviously, I think number is going to move it when we see Sabonis and Keegan Murray maybe get ruled in, maybe gets up to 230 in this game. But I could see pace in this game, defense being very questionable. But my favorite play is going to be the Lakers plus 4.5 on the spread here against the Sacramento Kings. All right, so that is the last.
Kind of a weird slate.
Yeah,
some games I really like, and then there's other games I'm like,
yeah. All right, so that is the last game of the night. Let's get into our lock and dog here, Terrell, and then we'll put together our Underdog Fantasy entry to wrap up the show here. You want to lead us off with your lock and dog?
I'm very tempted to lock up a couple of 7-win teams in the Charlotte Hornets and the Toronto Raptors. Very, very tempted to do that. I'm not going to do it, but very, very tempted to go that way with this. For my lock, let's go with... Yeah, let's go back to the OKC laying 6.5.
All right.
I really think this is the bounce back spot. If anybody was wondering, Suns -6 was the other consideration for the lock. And Portland might. What was the go spit out? What's the Denver first half stats again?
Denver first half. Let me go back to that game.
Dude,
Denver first half as a road favorite. ATS 1-5 ATS, full game 1-5 ATS. As a
what
road favorite, I'm sorry, are the Denver Nuggets. 1-5 both.
1-5 straight up and ATS.
They're 1-4-1 straight up in the first half, and they are 1-5 ATS in
Yeah,
the
all
first
right.
half.
We're just not going to think about this too much. That it just this is I'm perfectly fine fading Denver after 3 wins in this horrible defense, especially coming back on the road. Wait, what was the other games? The other games were at Sacramento, home to Clippers. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine fading this team. If they figure it out, they figure it out in the second half. And it's a long rest. Give me Portland in the first half, plus 220 on the money line. This Denver team hasn't been that good in the first half. And I'm telling you, you can't lay these number of points with somebody that doesn't play defense on the road. Portland could absolutely jump out early and sneak them because, Simons or somebody just had some all-world shooting day in the second half, and then they fall off in the first half, and then they fall off in the second half. Give me a random off the ledge pick, and I will take Portland in the first half plus 220.
All right. For my lock, let's see. No, my dog's gonna be used that game we just talked about. I think we see points in that Suns game you talked about, man. Pacers Suns. I'll take the over there, 234.5. You have all three guys playing here tonight for the Phoenix Suns. Pacers, we know they like to push the pace. I think they have enough there on the offensive side as well to keep up with the scoring in this game. So I'll take the over 234.5 as my lock. For my dog, give me the Lakers plus 154 on the money line there. If you want to tack on like AD rebounds or LeBron, if he does end up playing RA, gives you some more better odds. But I do think this is a good opportunity for the Lakers to go in there, continue their momentum, what they built off of that win against the Grizzlies to go against Sacramento. And again, Sacramento still has three key guys that are questionable here tonight for this game here. So if one of the three is out or two of the three are out, I think that you have the advantage here in the Lakers. So that'll be my dog of the day. All right, Terrell, before we wrap it up here, Underdog Fantasy entry, make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. Where do we want to start here for tonight? We're looking at Cat. We're looking at Randall.
Yeah, you can go to that game. Gobert's been really bad rebounding. I could get with Cat rebounds. Where's his rebounds at?
He's at 12.5.
Shoot, on Underdog,
13.5 on Underdog. Jesus.
Yeah, they're really leaning in to Gobert sucks. All right, let's see here. I do like Laurie. Go Laurie higher, 19.5 points.
All right, let's go Laurie higher, 19.5. Got that one locked in. You want to go like Jokic rebounds or PRA or something like that?
Yeah, it's probably a lot of Jokic and nobody else.
His points are 29.5. PRA is 51.5. Rebounds is 12.5.
It would have to be PRA for me. It's still a really bad defensive group in Portland. And Jokic, he can stop scoring at one point and let everybody else do the work. 51.5 is that's fine with me.
Or do you want to go triple double higher, 1.75x spicy?
Nah, let's just keep it safe. 51
right, PRA. All right. And then
De'Aaron Fox. It's De'Aaron Fox day.
All right.
We got to go De'Aaron Fox.
Fox higher, 25.5 points.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go with that. I like it. So our entry for tonight, Laurie Markkinen higher, 19.5 points. Nikola Jokic PRA higher, 51.5. And De'Aaron Fox higher, 25.5 points here tonight against the Lakers. That's a 6x entry. That'll get you every $10 you put in, you'll get a $60 return if all three of those, in fact, do end up on the winning side of things. All right, nice and tidy here. Got it done in about less than an hour. Terrell, anything else you want to mention before we get out of here?
No, I'm good. Let's go on. Have a day.
Yeah, NBA's back. Full schedule should be a lot of fun here tonight. Make sure you guys follow Terrell over on Twitter and on Instagram at reallyreal__. You can follow me there as well at SportsNerd824. More importantly, if you haven't already subscribed to the NBA Gambling Podcast YouTube channel, please go ahead and do so. And last but not least, do us a favor, smash that like button before you guys do get out of here. All right, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow for the Friday schedule with myself and Scott. Look out for us then. Till then, good luck with your bets. Let's break these books off and always remember to let it right.